The Last Rodeo, Angel Studios' newest family blockbuster starring Neil McDonough, hits theaters May 23rd. Become a premium member and get 2 free tickets to see The Last Rodeo on the big screen. Plus, stream other Angel exclusives like Homestead, The Shift, and more. Help choose which movies get made and support films and filmmakers that share your values. Join the Angel Guild now at angel.com/Charlie. Don't miss The Last Rodeo, only in theaters. We have a big week in store. I will be heading to the Imperial Capitol later today. We'll be doing our broadcast live from Washington, D.C., partially this week. Major news this weekend. The Democrat Party is telling us their plans. You see, the Democrat Party knows that they are losing, specifically losing young men. We know that in the 2024 exit polls, they showed that Trump won 54% of men ages 18 to 29, a 29-point shift from 2020's 15-point Biden lead. Let's go 223 up on screen. Just the presidential margins among men by race and ethnicity. Men are moving to the right dramatically. YouGov data shows that even in the United Kingdom, where I just was visiting last week, 32% of UK men ages 18 to 24 voted Reform UK, compared to 16% of women, doubling right-wing support. Globally, we are seeing that young men are scoring at a conservatism scale up nearly 30% versus 2014. So what is going on here? Well, we've covered this extensively. Where everything masculine is labeled toxic, young men are starting to search for a place where manhood is still honored, not pathologized. In a world that preaches weakness as virtue, we are offering challenge, order, and responsibility. And the men of the West are listening. The New York Times published a separate piece of data that is equally as interesting, where the Democrats know that their problem runs deep and everywhere. Show this up on screen. Where almost the entire country is moving to the right, except the suburbs of Atlanta and the suburbs of Denver and parts of Virginia. Almost everywhere is moving dramatically to the right. The country is experiencing the course correction or the right-wing revolution, as I talked about in my book that I published last summer. That is exactly what we want to see happen. It is a seismic shift largely led by the men of the West that are rejecting the current composition of the Democrat Party. And the Democrats know it. This is cut 218. MSNBC reports that the New York Times is saying Democrats want to spend $20 million to figure out how to speak to young men. Is there a USAID grant for that? There is USAID grant to make a Sesame Street for Iraqis, a USAID grant for every wild thing. Could they get a USAID grant to learn how to speak to the civilization that we've never touched before? I feel as if this is a National Geographic documentary. And now we venture into the wild to learn to talk to a group of people largely forgotten. No, they're not the Aborigines of Australia. They're not the island people of Sri Lanka. They're not the Incans or the former Mayans. They are men, half of the population of the country we desire to govern. Play cut 218.
With the midterms fast approaching and a full 6 months after November's electoral drubbing, the Democratic Party appears to still be in fact-finding mode. The New York Times reports that party donors and strategists have been gathering at luxury hotels to discuss how to win back working-class voters. And they're spending $20 million on an effort to try to figure out how to speak to young men. Quote, "It is codenamed SAM, short for Speaking with American Men, a strategic plan, and promises investment to study the syntax, language, and content that gains attention and virality in these spaces." With the midterms.
The syntax, language, and content. So they hire a linguist as if they're trying to decode ancient Sumerian. How did we go so wrong talking to these people? You are the problem. Everything you believe is the problem. Instead of meeting at luxury hotels, if you want to see how men actually think, maybe you should have went to the Indy 500 this last weekend on Memorial Day. Or maybe go on a hunting trip. Maybe show up at a football game and show up to a tailgate and ask the men of the West, why are you voting Republican? And they will tell you something That is not going to show up in their data. You see, it's a vibe. And honestly, I got to give our podcast, our campus content some credit, not all. The vibe is that if you embrace the Democrats, that is like the weakest femboy, low testosterone thing imaginable. It's not even that they love Republicans or love conservatism. It's just that it's such a sad shell and husk of your former self if you are going to become a man voting on the Democrat side. It's that you're going to be constantly policing people's speech through the pronoun directives. You're going to be caring about race hostilities and the mobilizing of resentments. While the left offers therapy and safe spaces, we on the right, we offer discipline, identity, and meaning. And men are craving meaning. Men are suffering under Viktor Frankl's existential despair. But the Democrat strategists and donors meeting at this luxury hotel are seeking a prognosis. As they're meeting at the swanky hotels, they say they're going to buy advertisements and video games, among other things. That's it. We're done. If no one's ever thought to buy advertisements and video games before. It's just never happened before. Above all, we must shift from a moralizing tone. Oh, maybe you're starting to gather a little bit of self-awareness. MSNBC is fighting over whether this is a good idea. Play cut 207.
It's great that we're being a little bit more introspective. That's always helpful. But I think that the Democrats have forgot that maybe we should just talk to people like people. We don't need to do studies on it. We don't need to meet at hotels. How about we just go to community meetings and meet people where they are on social media and their different forms and platforms that they are. But I think that the Democrats have forgot how to talk to normal people about things that are really important to them, like the economy. So it's I think, a really good lesson to learn. But I also think we just need to get back to basics.
You see, Comedy Central, they dispatched one of their court jesters, one of the clowns that they have on payroll there, a guy by the name of Jordan Clapper, to go talk to young men and say, why do you like Charlie Kirk? Why? Tell me why. And I'm going to make fun of him in my very funny way. You see, he's so funny, I forgot to laugh. But this is 226 of the National Geographic reporter from Comedy Central with just an elitist and smug and condescending and just the pomposity just oozes from these guys. And this is exactly why they're failing is, yes, I'm very smart and funny. You know that, right? He's like one of the last comedians that is still on the left because the left does not believe in freedom of speech. You cannot be in comedy and not believe in freedom of speech and therefore not want to be on the right because free speech is not a left-wing value. So he goes and tries to mock one of our fans when they're obviously acting in good faith. Here's very funny man from Comedy Central, play cut 226.
What makes Charlie Kirk so effective on a campus like this?
I just think it's all the research he's done, all the statistics that he has to back it up.
For some students, he was the only one speaking to their concerns.
A couple of years ago, I just started finding more people because I got so tired of this not being able to speak my mind. So I needed to find people that actually knew how to say things to I'm forgetting the words, I'm sorry.
You needed somebody to be more articulate for you.
Yes, because you see me like right now, I can't put words together. So
You were looking for somebody to put words in your mouth.
yes.
Gotcha.
Well, not like that exactly.
That's what I was doing right there.
Yes.
What I'm talking about is what Charlie Kirk kind of does inside.
Yes.
Yes, he puts the words in your mouth.
Yeah, making enough sense for me so I memorize what he says, then I can freely say it to
Exactly.
So this guy, it's very funny. That's the same people that will say, Charlie, what are you going to do to talk to college students? Here he goes and selectively edits people that are trying to find the words and say, I like him because of this and this. And he just tries to brutalize them. Hey, Democrats, you are the problem. And there's not any amount of advertisements and video games that are going to want people to support you.